How do you do, Ken? I would like one of your teriyaki burgers with egg, a sweet and sour fried chicken, a triple cheeseburger, and an overflowing energy McFizz. Can I have all that to go? Sure you can. Puns with poor pronunciation. No, I'm not sorry. Now it's time for your hosts, Rob Roberts, Jamie Summers, and Loki, to tell you about the story behind this skit and the rest of the week's gaming news. Starting right now with the show where every gamer has a voice.
Hello, my friends out there on the internet. Welcome back to another week of the show where every gamer has a voice, and apparently you get dad jokes from our voiceover guy, Jason. It is Orange Lounge Radio. We are back once again tonight with episode number 1066 of our show for October the 19th of 2025. My name is Rob Roberts, and I'm here with you each and every week with my friendsies to talk about what's going on in video games and gaming culture and all of that. Not for much longer, though. November 23rd is when we were going to be ending the 23 and a half year run of this show. Very bittersweet, but excited for what might be in the future. In Dark Sakura's immediate future tonight, TwitchCon and all the parties around it. Dark Sakura's not here tonight because they are at TwitchCon, or have been this weekend. I think TwitchCon's over, but the parties are still going. I'm still on a server of people that go to TwitchCon, and yeah, so I see I'm sitting there looking outside the window going, oh, I wish I were there. I mean, I've had a lot going on at home here. Otherwise, I would have gone to TwitchCon, but it looks like it was a lot of fun. So I'm excited to hear from Dark Sakura all about how TwitchCon went in 2 weeks when she is back. But joining us tonight on the show, say hello to the one and only Techmaster Loki.
Hello.
Hi, Loki. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Wishing I was at TwitchCon.
Yeah, you went last year and you didn't go this year. Was that just is hard to get out of family obligations and stuff to do it, or?
It's just expenses because we'd gone to San Diego in June.
Oh, that's right.
So,
you just went.
I didn't want.
Yeah,
so just couldn't swing it again.
Yeah. What is this game playing behind you tonight? Is this is the Minecraft? What? No.
It's not
Lego. It's the Lego Mario Party ripoff.
Yep. Lego Mario Party ripoff.
What's this game called?
The official title. Lego Party.
Lego Party. That's it. Lego legally distinct.
It's very
Mario
original.
Party. Very original.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Well, Dark Sakura isn't here this week, but we thought this presented an opportunity to invite an old friend of ours back to the show tonight to talk a little bit about a big game release we had this last week. If we're going to talk about Pokemon, I think there's no one better here at Orange Lounge Radio to bring on the show to talk about this than the one and only Shane. Hello.
Hello.
Live all the way from New Zealand, right?
Yeah, currently for another 7 days. Yeah.
So you did it. Some people talk about getting the hell out of the US with everything going on, and you're living the dream.
I'm trying to live the dream. It is not like fully there yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, thank you for making the time all the way from New Zealand. And also, I wanted to address this too, because people are going to see that your name is Seeger Starzik. So you actually changed your name at some point, just so people know. You've been Shane on the show for years. But you changed your name at some point, right?
Yeah. I never went by my first name. I hated my first name. It's obviously not Shane.
Which is something you and I have in common.
Rather.
You and I don't know how many listeners know this. Rob is my middle name. I don't go by my legal name ever. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I had this opportunity come up where I was supposed to move to Germany. And I was like, you know what? Let's just get rid of my first name and get something cool. And at my now old job, we were talking about like names I could go with. And I picked Seeger. And got it, legalized and everything, went through the process. It was annoying. And then Germany fell through. So now I just have a German first name, even though I'm not German. So whatever. It's fine.
It's fine.
Totally fine.
All right. But just to be clear, people can still call you Shane. It's just.
Yeah. Honestly, either one works. Whereas before, I would not talk to you ever again. Had you called me my first name. Or now, whatever you're comfortable with is fine.
Or in my case, he'd just give it right back, and then we both hate each other. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, okay. So let's talk a little bit about Pokemon. You are a Pokemon fan. For our newer listeners, if we have any, tell us about why you love Pokemon and what your love of the franchise sort of stems from.
That's a really deep question and
Okay.
kind of hard to articulate because I don't fully know the answer. I can say that I think the games are just fun, like just on a very basic
Well,
level.
that's fair. Video
But they
games ought to be
also
fun, huh?
they also scratch this itch I have of like hunting and collecting things. Like as a kid, I'd go with my mom Beanie Baby hunting. That was super fun to me. We would do that for other toys and stuff. And that is the objective of Pokemon. So it's just a really good time for me. And I like the designs. I think the gameplay has always been good to solid. So,
So
I don't know.
Pokemon is just like Beanie Babies, confirmed.
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
Easy. Okay. Let's see. So there's kind of an infamous meme on this show about you, and
Ooh, maybe
that
it's
is,
Labubus now,
oh,
actually.
are you into the Labubu thing?
No, I hate them. And I didn't really know what they were until when I was in Japan a couple months ago. My friend called me and asked me to find her some, like, why? And then after she said that, literally everywhere I go, I see Labubus. And I
I
hate
gotta
it.
be
And they're so
honest.
weird and they're not cute.
Yeah, they remind me of was it Where the Wild Things Are, like the
Yeah,
characters from
kinda.
that. Like I'm like, why are they making dolls of those?
I could see that.
The only
And
Labubu I'm interested in is one I saw on TikTok today that was a sculpture that was entirely made out of bread. It was La Carb Carb, and I am so into that. That sounds amazing.
but they not to be a Labubu racist, but they all look the same. I do not even know what the differences are. Like, are there different ones? Because they sure don't look like it.
Maybe.
I know my husband is really into the blind boxes, but not the Labubus. But he likes to go to like the Pop Mart and stuff and just kind of look around. He likes some of that type of stuff, but not Labubus, thankfully. So
They
anyway,
dodged that bullet then.
Yeah.
Sorry to go off on that tangent.
No,
As you were saying about something else.
no, you're fine. You're fine. I was gonna say the meme about you on this show is that so like when Pokemon, I don't know what it was X or Y or something came out, you bought like 8 copies of the game because you have to. Well, I actually don't know why. You have to have them in every region, every pairing.
No.
Okay.
No. Let's clear that up. So
it was 6 copies.
The first of the generations, I bought like multiple versions besides just the standard like red and blue or X and Y or whatever. Was Gen 7 because, funny enough, I was in New Zealand at the time and I wanted to play the game. And it was on 3DS and it launched here. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go get a copy. So I got copies here and then I got copies back when I was in the US. It wasn't until Sword and Shield that I went like insane and just started buying copies from every region. When literally starting with Sword and Shield, it didn't matter anymore. Whereas before, you'd have to buy like a Japanese copy to play in Japanese. And so you could do like the Masuda breeding. Now it doesn't matter. Yet now is the time I've started buying way too many copies.
So we had a brand new game come out this week, Pokémon Legends Z-A, which, although technically not a mainline game, it does really feel like Pokemon Legends.
No, it is a mainline.
Is an emerging
it's
mainline series. Okay, well, is that just because it ties into X and Y, or what?
No. They said the Legends series is considered mainline. It's a terrible like false information, like extravaganza about the Legends games, but they are mainline. They're not spin-offs.
It doesn't feel like it, but that's fine. They can say whatever.
I mean, the creators say they're mainline, so
they can say whatever they want to sell more copies. That's fine. And to be fair, the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet obviously felt influenced by what they did with Pokemon Legends Arceus. So there's something there, I guess. So let's talk a little bit about Pokemon Legends Z-A. You obviously have jumped in. You have already beaten the game, correct?
Yes, I marathoned the crap out of this because I came prepared. I bought the game digitally or pre-ordered it digitally while I was in Japan, so I knew that I could start playing as soon as it went live on the Japanese servers. And so I've been playing since what that would be my Thursday early morning, which is your like Wednesday at some point in time. I don't know. But yes, I just kind of marathoned it like really bad.
Okay. So how many hours did it take you to get through it?
Well, considering I didn't finish the decks, but I did do every side mission I possibly saw. And I went around collecting the very gay screws. And I did a lot of the Battle Royale stuff. I ended at 47 hours.
Okay, but you did a lot of side missions, and that's
I
understandable.
did every side mission that popped up. Yes.
That's how I like to play the games too, so that's not terribly surprising. So, and I've played the game for a little bit. I streamed it the night it came out, and then I've been playing more off stream. I'm up to rank, I don't know, I think I'm on the U fight. Like, so obviously I'm not nearly as far along, but I've also had an extremely busy weekend and other things going on. I just can't marathon it. I got to admit, my impressions are I like it, but I don't love it. But I feel like you're in a different place. So tell me about like how you feel Pokemon Legends Z-A sort of stacks up compared to the last Legends game and just the series as a whole.
So I think in some weird way, Legends Z-A captures the same like addictive gameplay loop that Legends Arceus does, or has rather. Instead of going and just catching things constantly, the catch things in the daytime, and then when it switches over to night, going to the ZA battle stuff, that's just really fun, and it never overstays its welcome. And in fact, I'm constantly angry when it does switch over to either day or night, because I'm having a good time doing the activities it wants me to do during those time periods.
That's actually kind of one of the issues I have. I don't like the day-night mechanic. I really don't. Like, I get it, but I just don't care for it.
But you can also avoid it mostly.
Yeah, you can use the benches. You can avoid it,
yeah, with the benches.
I just think
you
they
still
have
have to engage with the mechanic, but you don't have to let it like control you the entire aspect of your gameplay.
Question from chat over at twitch.tv/VOG Network, because of course we do tape live every Sunday night. At twitch.tv/VOG Network, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, right after the Bobby Blackwolf show. We won't be here next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. I'll tell you more about that later. But YYR is live in our chat asking, is that longer or shorter than the first Legends game?
It's been a minute since I started Legends from scratch. I would say, just guessing, that this game is probably longer in the sense of start to finish if you're not doing like 100% completion.
Yeah, 47 sounds like a lot compared to Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Well,
but there was a very meaty post game.
Well, my 47 hours is closer to 100% completion play style. Like, I saw people that beat this new game just like rushing through it in under 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I can't really answer if it's longer or shorter.
Okay. So yeah, like I will say what I do really like about the game. I will say what I really like. And I would agree when you say that it does have a pretty addictive loop. And I think a big part of that is really driven by the battle changes, because they made major changes to the battle system, which is another reason why it's
overhauled.
That's another reason to it's weird to call it a mainline game. But I suppose if this is what we're going to see in Gen 10 as well, then that's fine, because I really like the combat system, because it feels like an action RPG now. It feels like a Kingdom Hearts or a World of Warcraft or something. Like they took the 4 moves and they, you do them a little more, like they have cooldowns and you use them live, and it's interesting. I really like it. How do you feel about the overhaul to the battle system?
Oh, I love it. I think it's so much more fun and far more engaging. And it's also fun because things you expect, having played this series for so many years, like they just don't work the same. The moves that what they do in standard Pokemon games don't necessarily work the same way. Like Protect is a short shield that basically nothing can get through, but then it's on a cooldown. Or Toxic Spikes used to be a trap where when new Pokemon would come in, they would be poisoned. But in this game, you throw them on the ground, and at any time, your current Pokemon or other ones you bring out could walk over them and get poisoned. Or if you just stay far away, then you don't have to even deal with that trap.
Yeah.
So it's putting a really fun twist on the not boring, but the tried and true gameplay. And I think it's great.
Now, I'm pretty sure this is where you and I are going to disagree, and that's fine. It's not like we don't disagree all the time, but I just don't like the city setup. I'm going to be honest. I just don't like the setting. I don't like how they did the wild areas in the city, and I know you get more, and I've gotten to the point where I think I have 10 of them unlocked and stuff. I just don't like the setting. I don't like climbing the rooftops. I don't like this. It's just, it doesn't, I don't know. It feels very weird to me, especially compared to the last game. I really enjoyed the setting of the last game. And I think there was a part of me that was just kind of like yearning for more of that, to be quite honest. And I understand creatively they got to do, different things to keep people interested in stuff. But I just don't like that creative direction. But you enjoy it more.
Oh, 100%. I think that being in a city lets you do a lot more focused activities. It gives the developers I almost say more freedom to do fun things, because you're not just looking at some giant blank map. You've got structures you have to work around, and I love the verticality. I think it does a very good job of being in a Pokemon world that feels lived in versus a Pokemon world that has what you would call a town, but literally is like 2 houses, but 10 people in that little village. And
does it feel lived in though? Because I feel like there's a lot of stretches that are a little bit empty, and then it's always like, oh, a cafe, another cafe, another cafe, another clothes shop.
Well,
there's only so
I
many.
Think that's how it is in real life.
I think that's such a lame excuse. There's only so many archetypes of like actual things you find in the city. There's just not a lot of variation in it. I don't know. Like, I thought what the game was doing, I thought it was doing like a Final Fantasy VII thing, where like the first segment would take place in the city, and then we get to like go outside the city. And when I found out that wasn't the case, I was kind of like, oh, well, that's kind of disappointing. So yeah.
It's all city, but there are some special places you do get to go. So you will get to, break up the monotony of looking at buildings constantly.
Why'd they get rid of crafting? I mean, I guess it was the crafting system in the last game was very, very, very basic. So like, I'm not going to say like, oh my God, it was so complex and I loved it. But like, I don't know, like it feels like when you run over these shiny things on the ground, not shiny Pokemon, but shiny little objects, they're all just like, they're either items you throw away in battle or things you sell for money. And so I felt like
crafting made sense for Legends Arceus. You're in a time period where Pokeballs are not a thing, really. You're just starting to, make them, or they're being produced. But in this game, this is actually the farthest ahead in the timeline we are for the Pokemon world. And I don't know, crafting was kind of boring in the other game. All it did was, give you access to like Pokeballs. That's what you use it for. Here, go beat up some chumps in the Royale one night, and I'm getting like 150,000 Poké dollars.
It's just
every
money
night.
on
It's
Pokeballs.
great.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like it's just, I don't know. It's just like it's. I don't want to say lazy. Lazy is not the right word, but I don't know if like it's almost too streamlined. I think that's it. It's too streamlined for me. I don't know. Like, again, I don't dislike the game. I'll finish it. It's engaging enough, but I was just kind of, I don't know, maybe after the last Pokemon Legends game, I just had the bar set a little higher. I don't know. But for me,
we didn't really have, all we had was Arceus. So we don't really know what a Legends series looks like yet.
Yeah, but I do know that I liked Arceus when I first played it better than this one when I first played it. That I do know.
It's so weird because
minus the graphics part. Like, obviously that part is nice that it runs really smooth at 60 frames a second and all that. Although I'm sure you've seen how critical some people are of some of the, I don't know, lack of three-dimensional texturing, we'll say, when it comes to some of those buildings and things of that. Like, I think some people are being a little sensational when they call it like copy paste terrain and things like that. I think it feels a little more alive than that. But I would agree that Game Freak feels behind a lot of their peers when it comes to pushing the envelope with graphics.
I can agree with that. I don't agree with the people just constantly harping on it. Like, one, if you're harping on it, you saw the leaked like budgets for these games. Kind of makes sense why it looks the way it does. But also, I don't think a flat textured building is going to take away from the fun I have with the game. Unless I have to, like, I don't know, climb the building and only look at the building. And that's all I do is just look at buildings the entire time, which I don't in this game. Yeah, they're the scenery, but I'm looking at the ground, I'm looking at the sky, I'm in Pokemon battles. Those are I don't know. It's very annoying to be a fan of almost anything now and just realize that there are going to be people out there that are going to make bad faith arguments and just be so loud about it when you just want to have fun with your game.
Here's the problem. I'm going to call it like it is. People use Pokemon for views. That's what it is. They are using Pokemon and its popularity to go on these tirades to get. I saw this video that was just like super negative on the whole thing today with 69,000 views. That is like that, and that's probably small fries and that stuff. Like, it's just wild to me. Like the people will shit on it, but it's because of the nature of algorithms and that somebody else controls your algorithm in almost all social media except for one, Blue Sky. Oh, and Mastodon, to be fair. It's these algorithms, and so it keeps pushing you that negativity to rage bait you into engagement. That's literally what Elon Musk bought X to do, was to turn it into rage bait engagement. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see. Going to our comments in chat. Deft in chat says, I haven't played Z-A, but the battles seem really cool now. Turn-based for me, for the most part, is really boring. Hence why I like stuff like Mario RPG, because it gives you something to do. And I want Pokemon to look good. The game can look whatever. Oh, Fifth Dream says...
yeah, and the Pokemon do look good. Like, they lack the really defined textures of, like, the Scarlet Violet Pokemon, but they still look amazing. And the new megas, which I won't spoil, literally probably the most... I think they're all great. I think all the new megas are great, and I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to spoil things for people.
Fifth Dream in chat is talking about, I'm always a turn-based guy. I want that back. Real time is too hectic. Is there any way to like slow the battles down or do anything like if you... Because I could see that. Like, remember when Final Fantasy 15 made that change to action, and because of all the like kind of, I guess, feedback or whatever you want to call it, they actually
added not to remember 15, to be honest.
Well, but they added a mode in 15 that would stop. Basically, it would stop the clock every time your like cooldown reset, so you had time to think about your next move. Like Final Fantasy 15 kind of had that, but Pokemon Legends doesn't have anything like that, right?
No, you have to kind of think ahead. You can do stuff like make the other Pokemon drowsy or paralyze it or freeze it, and that gives you some breathing room. And that's in battles or trainer battles. If you're doing like wild battles, if you need just like a minute to think, toss out a couple Pokeballs at the Pokemon, and even if it doesn't catch, you still get a little bit of time to just kind of process, what you want to do next.
Okay, you're gonna rage at this comment. You ready, Shane? Bobby in chat says, and that's why I'm glad the Legends series is a spin-off and not a mainline game. The mainline games can still be turn-based. As much as I can see the steam coming out of ears, I do want to go back to the point about, wait a minute, could the mainline games go this direction? Do you think the mainline games are going to go this direction?
So first of all, Bobby's comment is clearly him just quoting something from a Rage click or rage bait video that is grounded in nonsense, not grounded at all. Secondly, did you guys talk about the Pokemon leaks on the show?
It's coming up. I actually wanted to keep you around to talk about that. So if you want to get into that a little bit,
well,
yes.
I'll touch on it for a second. Supposedly in the leaks, the next generation, Gen 10, will have an option for turn-based or not turn-based.
Oh, interesting.
Whether that's the same as like the action we're getting in this game, or like something completely different.
That's literally what Fifth Dream is asking for. So that's kind of interesting. Huh.
Yeah. So there's also it's Pokemon's in a weird place because this game was supposed to come out, Z-A was supposed to come out last year, and then this year would have been Gen 10. And so now they also have that other game coming out, Champions. And that's where competitive is going to be played now, is on Champions. So realistically, since Champions is just the turn-based 2v2 fights, and that's all, they could do whatever they wanted with any of the games at this from here on out, because they've got their competitive game, and that's what they care about for the turn-based style.
Fifth Dream in chat says Pokopia is the real future. How do you feel about that one? Because everybody says Pokemon Minecraft. I feel like that's the wrong take. Pokemon Dragon Quest Builders, that's the right take, at least from what we know so far.
It is Pokemon Dragon Quest Builders because it's made by the same team that made Dragon Quest Builders.
Actually, I didn't realize. I actually legit didn't realize that. Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
But yeah.
Let's see. Okay, let's talk about the leak a little bit. Obviously, I don't want to get into like all the details because some people are trying to like shield themselves from that. So I want to be mindful of some of that. But let's just so there was a leak. It spoils 5 years of games. But I think for us to sit here and say they're working on Gen 10, they're working on another Legends game. That's not a fucking spoiler. Like, of course they are. These games are selling really well. We won't necessarily detail the settings and all of that stuff, but I'll ask you, like, generally, Shane, how do you feel about, like, when you read these leaks, assuming they're true and things can always change, but the source of this is the same source that basically detailed everything in Z-A, right?
Yeah. This is all from the huge leak that happened. Was it last year?
Yeah. So
where we got like some beta forms, lots of internal documents.
This is like way beyond rumor. This is like it could change from the day it was leaked, but this is the direction it's going in.
Well, and just to show how things can change, Z-A was not a Kalos game to start with. So that right there kind of shows you nothing is set in stone. But I already forgot the question. So
I just like generally, how do you feel about the leaked things, like with the direction that Pokemon's going when you read about that?
I'm fine. I'm on board. I have always been on board with the games, it seems, with the exception of a couple. Gen 10 sounds promising, but we'll have to see, if they can deliver on kind of the ambition that is in those documents. The next Legends game, I am excited for, but I'm also very apprehensive because it's just yet another twist in the formula. And I don't know if I'm going to like that twist. But to be fair, going into Z-A, I didn't know if I would like the combat in this game with its huge focus. And it's kind of like playing Hades for me, or Hades 2. I get into a fight, I go at night, and I'm like, okay, I just want to do it one more time. I want to go through the entire like area and go beat people up. And I can't stop playing that. But I'm excited.
I'm excited for the Legends game just based on the region it's based, because it sounds like it'll be more like the last Legends game, but it probably won't. It's gonna do its own thing, I'm sure.
Maybe.
maybe.
I guess we'll have to see if any of those documents actually pan out.
Yeah, because it's all subject to change. I am very curious about, and I have a hard time grasping what this is. So there is some game, a new game in there that leaked that is, some are saying it's a Pokemon MMO, and some are saying it's like some interesting combo of the first 4 regions all together. Like, what is that from what you know?
Basically what you just said. I
so
don't know.
We don't know if it's
that.
Okay, that's fine. I felt
but
you probably read these documents more than I did. I didn't. I just kind of went,
I
interesting.
read them. I screenshotted and sent them to you, I remember, and I read them once, and that's about it. I have not gone back.
I thought there was more. I thought the Reddit or whatever you were looking at had way more info than just what you sent me. Oh, interesting. Okay.
No, that was really it. And I mean, kind of to be like somewhat respectful, if you can even call it that, to the developers, I don't want to just read what they don't intend other people to read.
Yeah, and I'm not going to make any
or get my hopes up.
And I'm not going to make any decisions about these games based on this leak. This is just one of those like, but we can't ignore that it happened either. Like, it's just it's out there now.
Here's something that's interesting about the leaks is that prior to this latest round of leaks, we were told via the leakers that Gen 10 would take place in Greece, like a Greece region. And not only because of the new leak did we find out that that was an option, but we found out that's not even remotely true. And it's a completely different place. So I don't want to read this stuff and get my hopes up and then just be like crushed.
I gotcha. We'll leave that to the 3-hour rage bait YouTubers that are talking about how all these games are the worst thing ever. And I don't know. You know all the things. Microsoft needs to buy Pokemon or something like that, whatever they say. So
I know.
No. People are unhinged online. So another question in chat from SHO100 Matt, who's asking, so you've beaten Z-A now. Is it just shiny hunting now?
No, because the shiny charm is not even locked behind Dex completion, but is locked behind a lot of other stuff I still have to do. And honestly, I don't know if I'm at the point with this game where I feel like I want to just go out and shiny hunt. I want to go and make more teams. I want to keep fighting in the Z-A battles at night. I want to do the online more. Like, that's actually fun, and I have to do it on all my accounts I play on because of the stupid Mega Greninja Stone being locked behind it.
Oh,
and then the other starters each season.
Is there? You have to do PvP to do that?
You have to, but you don't have to win your fights. It's a point-based system to like rank up.
Oh, I guess that's less bad.
And if you look at a guide, it will tell you like what you can do to earn points, because it is very important to know you can go into a fight and lose points overall. I did that one fight, so that sucked. But if you do specific actions or play specific ways and don't get first place, you can still earn quite a few points.
Interesting.
And you can probably get your rank K is where you get the Greninja Stone. Probably within an hour and a half at most. And that's with bad Pokemon. That's not being like max level or anything.
All right, good to know. Let's see, what else do I ask you about at this point? Are you still playing Pokemon Go?
Yes, I just did the Rayquaza or the Mega Rayquaza weekend thing a couple days ago because I didn't have a shiny yet. So I got 3. Was happy with that.
Nice.
And being in locations outside the US, it is far more fun to play Pokemon Go because you can actually just kind of walk everywhere and have a good time, and people are playing. God, I mean, here in New Zealand, and I'm sure it's mostly spoofers, but as soon as a raid hour starts, everything is full. Does not matter because this is the first time zone.
Yeah, it's all the people trying to see the early time zone. Yeah. So
yeah, which is great for me because I'll just be out. I can go outside, walk, and there's nobody there, but I'm still at like a 20-person fight, and it's great. And back in Japan, there's all the events constantly over there, and yeah, it's just far more fun.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing about Legends Z-A and that you're enjoying it. How do you feel about the DLC that they're already announced for that?
I feel like that's just another rage bait topic, because tons of games announce DLCs before their primary game come out, and so I'm happy there's DLC, and I don't think it's like wrong to announce DLC before your game actually comes out. People don't understand how game development works. I saw people say that just means they took out stuff from the main game. No, that's not at all what that means. Go work in game development, and maybe you would understand, instead of being terminally online.
You feel like it is a rich experience from what you have played start to finish. That there isn't, it's not like say a recent, what was it, Assassin's Creed or something, where part of the ending was missing without DLC. I think that's where people get jaded, is other companies that are doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, if they were like, the story stops halfway through the game,
you can get to rank C. You can only get to rank C, and you need DLC to get the rest. Yeah, that would be shitty.
That, you know what? That totally understandable at that point. But if you give me a game that has a start and then a finish, like, and that's a complete story, give me DLC. If I like the game, I'll pick it up. And you better believe I already pre-ordered it for one of my copies I have of this game so far. Yeah, no, sadly those new megas in that have already leaked too, which is such a bummer. But at least it's something to look forward to.
Before we let you go tonight, OLR is going to end next month, and
it's only 3 p.m. almost. It's not tonight. And well, it's Monday. You're doing it on the wrong day.
Whatever. Look, the fact that this show is going to end next month, and you've been around since like the double digits. We're early on in this. First off, thank you for being a part of the show for so long. And when you did have your ins in the game development industry, I remember you brought us like a brand new DDR song that people hadn't heard before. And we were able to play that for people. And that was a big way for us to kind of like catch traction on DDR Freak and all that. So I really appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But like, since it's probably the last time you're going to be on the show, since it's ending next month, anything like that you look back on and go, that was a lot of fun at OLR? Anything that you kind of like, good memories of the show that you remember?
Yeah, I'll do two. I will piggyback off your first what you just said for the first one.
Okay.
So yes, I brought like, Echo Image. I think that was like the big get.
You did. I think it's fine for me. It's fine for me to say this now.
No.
No? Okay.
But piggybacking off that, I wouldn't have been able to get that experience in the game industry probably without OLR, because knowing you guys got me the connections I needed to get to Konami. So that's something I will always be thankful for.
Never thought of that. Thank you.
And then the other thing I will say is I don't really have a specific memory of like, oh, that was awesome. But I remember back in the early days when doing the show felt kind of like just a random get together / house party. And those episodes were always fun because it was just like hanging out with friends, talking about stuff you liked. Wasn't so rigid in what we had to talk about. If something came up, it came up. It was fun.
All right. Well, have fun with Pokemon Legends, and I don't know, you don't really create content anymore, so I'd ask where people could find you. But
Japan, hopefully, I'll be there in 8 days.
So you don't want to be found.
Say hi. No, you want to go to like the Taito arcade, and we'll go play some. Oh, what is the newest 2DX? It just came out like as I left. We'll just go play Pinky Crush or something. I don't remember what the new one's called.
All right. Well, thanks for taking time out of your day to join us, Shane, and take care. Take care. Thanks again for all the support over the years.
Sure thing. Goodbye.
Bye. Talk to you later. Well, he just like hung right up. All right. Thank you, Shane, for participating on the show. And YYR in chat says Sparkle Shower was the name of that 2DX game, the new one. All right.
It could literally been anything. Especially, I don't think there's gaming conventions anymore with that stuff.
Let's get into our gaming weeks. Loki, how was your gaming week?
It was mainly just Minecraft stuff. I edited together one of my videos, put that out, and then I was watching like some of the MCC Twitch Rivals stuff today, just catching up on that because I'm out there.
Oh,
that was fun.
But that's good. That's good. You can watch that. Fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. My gaming week, mostly Pokémon Legends Z-A, since we were already talking about that. But also a little bit of Diablo 4 still on this season. And boy, oh boy, I'm having a really good time with the Hydra Mage because she's really overpowered, but I'm loving it. So it's a lot of fun, very satisfying on that front. But that's really the bulk of what I've been playing this week. Did I talk about Luminous Arise last week? I can't remember if that demo...
I don't think you did.
Okay. So the game itself isn't out, but the demo went live again. And I wasn't able to play it because of Dragon Con. So I finally got around to doing the demo this week because they made it live again for whatever reason. I don't know, but I was happy because I was like, "Ooh, I can finally play this." And I love it. It's just like it really is just like they took everything from like Tetris Effect and just made it luminous. And obviously like, you know, the songs are different and the themes are different, but it's very, very much like literally like instead of doing a sequel to Tetris Effect, we just decided to kind of do the same thing with Luminous. But like, why fix a formula that doesn't need fixing? Like, honestly, like, so I'm not complaining. That's not a complaint. That's actually, I think, a very smart thing for them to do. I'm really excited to try it in VR. I guess the demo actually isn't available in VR. I was hoping I could go over to a friend's house and check it out on his headset, but wasn't able to do that. But I did enjoy it's only like a 3-stage, like it's the first little section, but I still enjoyed it. It's almost, I guess maybe my one complaint, it's almost a little bit too visually stimulating. Like it's almost overwhelming visually, and I do hope there's a way to turn that down. That would be my thing. All right. Well, that's really it for our gaming weeks. We spent a lot at the top there talking about Pokemon, which was a big part of the week. So let's get into some gaming news. Quick housekeeping. I've mentioned it a couple times throughout the show, but just so nobody is surprised, the schedule for pretty much the rest of our run, we will not be here next week. I have a day job commitment that requires me to be somewhere else Monday morning, so I won't be here. So there just simply isn't going to be a show next week. However, that's it. That's the last show we're going to miss. And then we come back the week after in early November, and there will be 4 shows. So, and then the last show will be November 23rd. So episode 1070 is the last show. Although I'm tempted to call the last show OLR the final. So that way our last episode number is 1069. I think that's the way we ought to do it. So, all right.
I like that.
Perfect. It's done then. All right. Let's get into some gaming news. Loki, why don't you start us off? I have to run downstairs. I'm sorry to leave you by yourself,
Sure.
but I have to run downstairs real quick.
Yeah, no problem. So anyways, I think we've heard about this lawsuit with Tencent and Sony over Tencent's game Light of Motiram, I guess. It's a very clearly inspired, maybe not legally distinct enough according to Sony, version of like Horizon Zero Dawn, at least aesthetically. I don't think it plays the same, obviously, but it has to do with kind of this whole techno tribal, robot dinosaurs type thing that is very iconic with the Horizon series. And of course, now there's still this legal battle going on, and we have some more details regarding that. One of which, of course, is that apparently Tencent was just using the possibility of this game to lure Sony into meetings so it could pitch not only Light of Motram, it says aka Project Z, the Horizon Zero Dawn game, but also that it could possibly pitch a Last of Us type of game as well. So that's interesting. Another thing that comes out of this, and one of the reasons why they're trying to seek a preliminary injunction on the game itself, is because it is not set to release until 2027, which is also about the same time the Horizon Zero Dawn movie is planned. I think that was officially announced at one point, but we didn't know too much about it. But it is in development with Columbia Pictures, and apparently that they have a working script and they were searching for a director. And right now, I'm planning on releasing it in 2027, shooting it next year. And then, of course, with that, the worry, I guess, is that if this comes out, the people are going to see this game by Tencent and go, "Hey, that's a Horizon game. I'm going to play that." But it's not. It's not a Horizon game.
But don't we have games that kind of look like other games all the time? You know what I mean? Me saying that Lego game that you were showing at the top of the show live on Twitch was Minecraft something at first. Like, games kind of look like other games sometimes.
Yeah, but I think in this case, Lego has its own look. I mean, I get it. It's blocky and stuff. You could say, oh, well, this is ripping off Mario Party. But Mario Party doesn't, or at least maybe Nintendo would think that it owns the copyright to the party game genre. They do not own that. And I remember, like, hey, back in the day, back in the 90s and stuff, like, every fighting game that came out, oh, that's just a Street Fighter clone. That's just a ripoff of Street Fighter. Oh, that's a ripoff of Mortal Kombat. So, like, it's hard to say.
Remember when Beatmania came out in the U.S. and G4 said it was a ripoff of Guitar Hero?
Well, they're stupid, but that's ridiculous. That's just ill-informed people. That yes, they look similar, but
ill-informed people on my internet.
It's like you're acting as like news broadcasters, and you don't research your stories. What? I mean, I guess you could say they're entertainers, and they were just mainly hosting. They have people behind the scenes that are. Doesn't matter. Something happened. They look silly about it. And hey, you know what? It's sad to admit, but that mistake costs them G4. So you got to be careful on those facts. But yeah. So I don't know. We'll see where this goes. This is legal stuff. They worry about that stuff. Horizon is its own thing. The Tencent game I don't want to play.
I agree that gamers can also, the gaming community has this certain sense of being able to smell out quality a lot of the times, right?
Well, exactly. Especially like it's different when you have a game like Pal World where you're like, oh, that looks like Pokemon, but then you're like, wait, the gameplay is completely different. And I think it does look a little close to Pokemon. It's like, except it has like guns and stuff in it, but it's a bit close. But this is also kind of riding that line of like, that looks pretty close. But at the same time, does Sony own the patent on that type of environment? No, but are the designs of the creatures very similar to the Horizon game? Maybe a little too much, but that's for a judge to figure out.
All right. And a judge will figure it out, I'm sure, in the coming 7 years. All right. Let's move on and talk about an Intellivision console that's actually going to be coming out. That's pretty exciting. We're going to be getting the Intellivision Spirit, and it's coming to us from Atari because, remember, folks, Atari bought Intellivision, so now they're making things sort of happen. And if you want to talk about the Amico, you might have to remember that before or when Atari bought Intellivision, they did not buy all of that. They did not buy any of that drama. All of that,
good.
It was probably a very clear sticking point in the negotiations. All of that drama spun off into its own company, Amico Entertainment, so Intellivision and Amico kind of don't have anything to do with each other anymore, save some of the games IP, although I think Amico had to sell a lot of those to stay afloat. But I digress. Something we are getting from this Atari and Intellivision partnership is the Intellivision Spirit. It looks like an Intellivision. It feels like an Intellivision. Maybe it smells like an Intellivision. And it has an HDMI port. That's very similar to what this is, except instead of there is no cartridge port, it's going to have 45 built-in games. So it's maybe a little bit more like a flashback console, which, by the way, I bought one of those like Intellivision. Was it Intellivision Flashback? I think it was. It actually came with a little plastic overlay cards like this one does.
Yeah.
I bought one in like 2018 or 2019. So like for me, this isn't exactly new, but maybe it's a little bit like you're kind of getting it more from the source, I guess, but it's not. I really feel like what's this got that the last one I bought didn't have, besides maybe some different games, and I don't know, maybe it's sturdier, because the last one was pretty cheaply made, but it ran fine. So Intellivision Spirit's going to cost $150. That's the other difference, is the price. I think the one I bought was $80. And I don't know if that's tariffs or what, but that's wild. $150. God. All right. Pre-orders are available now, and you can check that out on December 5th. So this is so interesting. And then this article I'm looking at right now ends with saying it's a good thing it's not going to be vaporware like Intellivision's Amico. Completely failing to point out Intellivision and Amico no longer have anything to do with each other. Anyway, I have to say, at that price, I'm not interested in this console. It's not bringing anything new to the table that I didn't already buy a few years ago. Bobby says a wireless controller is the big thing that's different. Okay, that's, yeah. YYR says that's more than I would have expected. Same, but I have a feeling that our, idiot in chief and the plans to, tax the American people with tariffs, which are just taxes, plays into that a little bit. Travis C78 in chat says, I still have the Intellivision and all the games my dad came home with when I was 7. Nostalgia hit. Yeah, I mean, like, the Intellivision was a fine console. Like, it was that competitor to the Atari 2600. It had some pretty good bangers on it for the time. I would have liked to see something that maybe is similar to what they're doing with the 2600 Plus, where you can actually use the old cartridges, and it opens up the ability for people to sell homebrew again and do that kind of thing. I wonder if Intellivision is going to do that next year or in 2 years when they want to tap that, Intellivision nostalgia keg again. So I'll be curious to see how this sells when we've kind of seen a very similar thing so many times. But it didn't seem to stop the Atari. Like, Atari's been tapping that nostalgia keg for a very long time, and it's worked. So Why shouldn't it work for Intellivision, I guess? 2018 was 7 years ago at this point. I guess that's almost, a lot of changes since then. So, all right, let's move on. Loki.
All right. Well, Nintendo has suffered a leak, but apparently, they claim that nothing was leaked following a recent hack attempt by the hacker group Crimson Collective. However, there's been they said that no personal data or personal or dev-related info was leaked. But I don't know.
So we will not be getting information about the next 5 years of releases out of Nintendo from this, is what you're saying.
I guess not from Nintendo. It's kind of weird because I equate the Pokemon Company as Nintendo, so it's like, oh, but that leaked. But I guess it's not. So, but hey, at least nothing leaked there.
At least your names,
your
names, passwords, and credit cards didn't leak, so that's good.
At least I don't have to get my ID to Nintendo. So that's
good. My god, that's a whole other thing. All right. With laws in the world, this is interesting because this is coming out of Mexico, and it's the whole violent video game debate coming back all over again. But this was in a different way. It's not that Mexico is looking to ban violent video games, but they're looking to tax these games an extra 8%. So the Chamber of Deputies in Mexico approved a financial package that would be an 8% tax on video games with mature content. Now, in some of the ways, you remember when California, when Schwarzenegger was governor, tried to pass a law that GameStop wouldn't be able to sell violent video games, and it ended up flopping in court because there was no like the line of what is a violent video game was too blurred. It was too open to interpretation. It was too, like you couldn't like there were places were going to have too broad of a brush on that to get with the law and everything. What's interesting about this is that this tax will be games that have a C or D rating with Mexico's video game age classification system. So that's like the ESRB, but it's different. So when your game is for players 18 years and older, and that would be extreme violence, bloodshed, and moderate graphic sexual content. I'm assuming that's like a Mortal Kombat game. That's going to be a C. A D rating is adults only, and that's what they call prolonged scenes that include similar content. So I am taking that to mean a C is like an M rating, and a D is like an AO rating. I'm sure there's probably more nuance to it than that, but that's enough to help you understand what's going on. This is actually something that dates back to being first proposed back in September. And they're trying to use the old line about, there's a parallel with violent video games and making, teenagers more,
sure. If you say so.
Anyway. It should be noted that this whole report that it is, based in, this was a study from 2012 in a footnote. And it also has some positive associations with games, like resilience, motor learning, things of that sort. So anyway, this would apply. What is also interesting about this is going to be a tax applied to digital and physical copies of the affected games. This still has to be cleared through the Senate in Mexico, and then it's going to be debated on November 15th before the budget proposal goes forward. I guess maybe that's another interesting thing is that it ties into a budget proposal, right? So it's not like an independent law. They're basically saying in order to, have the money into the economy, we're going to add a tax here to do that. It's kind of interesting. So, and Deft is in our chat room, who of course, lives in Mexico, probably has some good insight on this, does, say it's like the ESRB, but it's pretty much like the ESRB. Yeah, fair enough. I figured that's how it was. So, and it makes me wonder if they could do something similar here. I realized we had the Supreme Court thing. I know you probably said, no, they can't. It's already been fought at the Supreme Court. Well, number one, Supreme Court's different now. Number two, the fact that it hinges on that ESRB board rating is interesting. And that it's a tax, not a ban. That's also interesting. So we'll see as if you're not paying enough for video games right now.
No, we need to pay more for video games.
I know.
They want $100 video games.
Can you imagine if now you had to pay another 8% on top of it? And to be fair, this is what they're looking at in Mexico, and I feel bad because and Def shared with us this on the show before. It's very hard to get consoles a lot of times in Mexico if the console hasn't officially been released in that region. So yeah, and Def says video games are already expensive here. Exactly. So like an 8% tax is like, why do video games at all at a certain point? So it also makes me wonder how actually this is really worth considering for any country considering something like this. How much are you going to drive people to piracy by doing this? Because if this were to happen in the US, I would just say people would end up pirating Mortal Kombat, which in turn would hurt the developer massively. And then we don't have video games anymore. Mm-hmm. So, which is probably what our government wants, honestly.
Or you just go PC and then you have like, stupid CEOs are like, my game's never going down in price soon, so you just got to shell out that $80 if you're a true fan, and then a month later it goes down 30%.
Is that what happened with Borderlands 4?
It's Borderlands I don't 4, know. Isn't it? Did it? I think. I know I picked it up for 30% off. So that's just so weird how that game that never was going to dip in price just dipped in price like all games do. So maybe Randy Pitchford doesn't know anything.
I think we've already covered that. All right, Loki, one more here before the classic game.
Yep, this is pretty cool. I wish we could get those over here, but there is in Japan, McDonald's Japan is doing a tie-in with Street Fighter. And they have specific street burgers with these like really funny 16-bit commercials or videos that they're making for this stuff that are pretty awesome looking. And they've got one it's a teriyaki burger with egg on it, sweet and sour fried chicken sandwich. Sounds good. And a triple cheeseburger. I like the videos. I really wish they had a version of Street Fighter with the hamburger attacks in there. So that would be amazing.
All right.
I want a McDonald's version of Street Fighter 2. Like, they've already got it in the trailer. Give me Capcom. Come on. Like, this would be the perfect tie-in right here. Like, Street Fighter 2, like, you've sold it so many times. I mean, you could practically give it away. Just do, like, a small, like, six character demo that like has 3 stages or something like that. Let's just like let's play it. Come on, it'd be so easy and such awesome publicity.
Questbuster in chat says I want a McDonald's version of Street Fighter 2 also. Heck yeah. All right.
And what's this? They also have something. It says in addition, they also have overflowing energy McFizz. It's a sparkling apple juice and a McFloat. It says it adds sparkling apple juice.
Hold on.
Awesome.
Does that mean if there's a float, does that mean the ice cream machines work in Japan?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Probably
Japan is just so far ahead of us in technology. It's wild.
I know. We're never going to catch up.
Orange Right in chat says, just imagine that Smash 64 commercial. There's trouble happening in the world of McDonald land. Grimace kicks the hamburglar in the gut. Slaggy McWaggy from Game Buoys in chat. Hey, Slaggy. Saying McDonald's land fighting game, Grimace versus Birdie. I would support that, but only if the hot hamburglar's in it. It has to be the hot hamburglar from like 15 years ago when they tried to reboot the hamburglar and made him hot. If the hot hamburglar is in the game, then I'm fine with it. Otherwise, keep it. Let's get into the classic game of the week.
Now it's time to travel back to a simpler time, where I'll dive into the vault and pull out a classic and tell you about it. It's time for the classic game of the week.
All right, and the game that I have picked for you this week, since, Dark Sakura's not here, so she can't pick the game, I am left to pick the game tonight. So this might actually be the last time I get to pick a game. I don't know. But I went back through kind of like the NES archive of like, what are some Nintendo games maybe I haven't talked about yet? And I landed on this one, which I consider to be the sequel to one of the all-time great NES games. It's called Fester's Quest. That's right. Fester's Quest is the game I've picked for the classic game of the week. And it's starting, this video we're showing on Twitch lovingly starts on a game over screen. How appropriate. Anyway, here's the deal. So Fester's Quest, yes, it is a tie-in to the Addams Family, hence the name of the game. It was developed by Sunsoft, who also made Blaster Master. The composer of the music in the game, Naoki Kuroaka, also the composer of Blaster Master. In this game, you play as Uncle Fester. The loose plot of the game is that a UFO beams up the residents of the city where the Addams Family are, except for the members of the family. And Grandmama is still there, and I guess she put a protective bubble or something on the home, a protective spell. So Gomez is busy guarding the home from aliens, so Uncle Fester has to use his gun to save the town. That's what it is, okay? And this is so funny to me because, looking back, and I joke about how this game is just a sequel to Blaster Master. When you look at it, it really is just the overhead components of Blaster Master, right down to, does anyone see in this stage the frog sprites? Isn't that literally the frog from Blaster Master? So it's funny to me that it's the Addams Family with a space plot because that's how they tied in all the Blaster Master assets. And then they just, they did their thing to put Fester and the family in the game. You go around to different houses and you actually find members of the Addams Family. So you get, you see Thing, the little hand, Wednesday, Grandmama, Pugsley, Morticia, Gomez, and you can actually summon Lurch to get all of the enemies off the screen by using a noose item. You go through like the city with all the houses, and you go down into sewers, and that's how you traverse to get around tree obstacles. This game is just one big giant fucking maze, and then when you get into certain parts of the buildings, you actually will fight alien bosses. Huh? What was another game on the NES where we fought alien bosses? Anyway, it gives Fester a puzzle piece and a picture of the UFO, and then we'll refill the items. Fester leaves the building, and you can't go back through it. So once all 5 bosses are gone, you board the UFO and beat one more boss, and the invasion has been prevented. Interesting sort of like bug between the US version and the European version. In the North American version, Fester's bullets will collide with walls and objects. That doesn't happen in the European version. So it actually makes the US version of this game pretty hard. It's a game that's already kind of hard. Interesting, though, the reception of this game, not too hot. You know, it had flicker, occasional slowdown, and things like that. In fact, Games Radar went so far as to rank it the 73rd worst game ever made. But then you go back and IGN ranked it 45th on its top 100 NES games list. Some sites like Electronic Gaming Monthly gave it a 5 out of 10. Nintendo Life gave it 1 star out of 10. Meanwhile, Nintendo Power gave it 4.45 out of 5. And Video Game gave it 5 stars out of 5. So I think this is just a game where it's going to depend a little bit on your taste in games. And you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Going to some comments in chat. Slaggy McWaggy says, where did Uncle Fester get a gun? He did actually, I think that is canon in the comics and, not the movie, but I want to say the TV show. But the gun wasn't like literal bullets. It was more like a zany thing. YYR in chat says, cheap asset flip Unity crap 1 star. You know what's funny? You're kind of not off the mark with a comment like that. They very much used assets they already had to make a tie-in game. So why do I pick a game like this? If the game wasn't remembered as being very good, why do I pick it?
Because it's amazing is why.
Yeah, I actually don't think it's as bad as people say it is. I think there's a lot of NES games. Yeah, there's a lot of NES games people look back on, like, and I feel this way about like the Friday the 13th game as well. But I understand why people hate that game. This game, I'm like, it's not as bad as people say it is, but it's just not for everybody, right? And I remember this game distinctly because I asked for this game one Christmas. I wanted to get this game on Christmas. And I remember one day I looked in the shopping bags as a curious kid of what my mom got from the store that day, and I saw this game in the shopping bags. But of course, I had to pretend that I didn't see it, or else, you know, Christmas was going to get canceled, knowing my mother. So I had to just like make believe. But that didn't stop me from fucking with my mother. And what I mean by that is when we went to the game rental place to rent games, and it was like 2 days before Christmas, I saw Fester's Quest on the shelf and I was like, oh, I should rent this one. I've really been wanting to play this game. I must have been like 10 years old. And I didn't end up renting this game because in the back of my mind, I knew. So I just played it off like, oh, I saw something I wanted to rent more. And then, yes, as Tiger Claw says in chat, on Christmas Day, I played it for hours. I sure did. Slaggy McWaggy brings up an interesting point. As Super Mario Brothers 2 and Doki Doki Panic set the buy hard for asset flips. That's a very funny point, but that was a very different situation as well. But I get the joke you're making there. It's funny. Orange Right in chat says, I love that the commercial uses, if you make one mistake, it's back to the beginning again as a selling point.
It's pretty accurate.
Yep. Questbuster in chat says, the NES years were like the Wild West of licenses. You never knew what was going to get resurrected next, like giving Uncle Fester his own game just because. Yeah, I mean,
forgot about this part of the game.
I know, I forgot about those, and you're talking about the mazes that look like the old Phantasy Star 1 mazes or like PC RPG mazes. Yeah, the flicker is harsh, right, Pop Culture? I didn't even realize this game had a strobing effect. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I do still kind of look back fondly on this. I was going to say also the early 90s. So I guess it wasn't quite in 89 yet because this game came out 89, right? Yeah, it came out September of 89 and then in Europe in the 90s. When was that Addams Family movie?
It was around the time.
It was 91. I want to say the first Addams Family movie was 91. But maybe they knew they were going to do that. So yeah, because I always thought this tied into the movie, but I guess not. It's really more because of like probably the TV show. The TV shows were still in reruns when I was 10, though. I remember they used to show old Addams Family on Channel 58. That's how I got into it. They used to show old Batman. They used to show old... Whoops, not that screen. They used to show old Batman. They used to show old the Addams Family and all the old shows. Maybe Dennis the Menace? I don't know. Anyway, there it is, your classic game of the week. Fester's Quest.
Dennis the Menace had a cartoon show at that time too.
Oh,
so
that's
right. I
right.
used to watch that.
That's right. So this is one of your NES favorites too, Loki. What do you remember about this game?
Funny enough, I remember seeing this game in Nintendo Power. Is like where I originally first saw it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun to play because I like Blaster Master.
Yeah. But totally not a sequel to Blaster Master, but it is. It's probably a better sequel.
It is in my head canon.
Probably a better sequel than the Genesis game.
Did it have the pause glitch thing with this one? I don't know if you had grenades in this game.
No, the pause thing. No, they didn't do grenades. You had the whip instead. You had the gun and you had the whip. So, yeah, no grenades. S200 Matt says, now imagine a Wednesday spinoff with Fred Armisen with this. Haha. Well, you know, that Fester's getting his own show. They confirmed that Netflix is going to do a Fred Armisen Uncle Fester show. So that is
it's Fred Armisen. I mean,
yeah.
Why wouldn't you give him another show?
Orange Right says, give Fester's Quest the Blaster Master Zero treatment. That is a great idea. They should do that as a tie-in to the upcoming series.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of like giving a game that really shouldn't have a sequel, like just a really awesome remaster, just
like a second chance. I love it.
Like a Bubsy, 4D. That doesn't need a fourth game, but they went in and they're like, we're gonna give it 100%, man.
They've for God's sakes, they've re-released Night Trap how many times? That game is not good. It is only remembered for being a FMV, full motion video game that had Dana Plato, who unfortunately lost, well before her time, and that it was girls running around scantily clad in a, crossing the line of what might be an adults only type of game at that time. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason that game is popular. It's not a good game. Let's be very clear.
Well, just along those lines too, and I don't think it made our show roll, but it was the 1995 Cyber Dreams game, I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream, and I Must Scream, got an update recently that they were patching that game even. So that's kind of funny that people are going back and still working on some of these games.
That is wild. Well. All right. Slaggy McWaggy in chat says Rob is going to star in Night Trap 2026. That is his first post OLR project. No. Well, I don't know. Actually, if I was approached to be in a Night Trap sequel, I guess I'd have to do it. Like, nobody's asked me to be in a video game before. I'd kind of have to do it, right? So. All right. Let's move on. Let's do a couple other headlines real fast in a segment we call Rapid Fire News. Loki.
All right. Red Dead Redemption 2 is getting some pretty funny mods. There's one that a YouTuber, a streamer Blurbs, created a Mortal Kombat mode in Red Dead Redemption 2. So any encounter that you get with, be it people, be it a bear, it actually goes into like a fighting game thing with health bars and stuff like that. And there's even fatalities in it. It's hilarious. I've watched clips of it, and it looks really funny. I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 on my PC though. I should check it out. Yeah. But yeah, it looks awesome.
Okay, cool.
And then what else? We got Psycho Shmups are going to be delisted from Steam on October 31st. That includes Gunbird 2, Gunbarch, or Gumbarich, I guess. We have Dragon Blaze, Samurai Aces, Episode 2, Tengai, Samurai Aces, Episode 3, Sengoku Kanon, Soul Divide, Strikers 1945, 1945-2, and 1945-3, and Zero Gunner 2 are all going to be delisted and no longer available to purchase on there. I'm pretty sure I have quite a few of these. Maybe I might be thinking of my handheld emulation device.
I wonder what the reason is behind that.
It's a license agreement.
Oh, well, of course. All right, moving on to music games. I know some of you out there are fans of Spin Rhythm XD. I remember when Alan was streaming and he used to stream this. Spin Rhythm's still going strong. It sold more than 100,000 units, FYI. And there are 7 new tracks coming to the Indie Pack DLC coming out on November 11th. This saying the Switch, but I'm assuming that's all platforms just because I'm looking at a Nintendo-based news website. The artists that are going to be in this this pack, I must admit, I do not know them. Blanco Tronco, Hachiku, May Semanis. I don't know. Sorry if I'm probably horribly butchering these names. My apologies. They kind of sound like maybe, I don't know, maybe they're Vocaloid type of bands, but I don't know. I really don't. But they're indies, so of course I'm not going to know. And that's not shady. I just don't know them because they're indies, but maybe I should. And that's why this pack is coming out. Again, 4-player local support in this game. 70 songs now that this is up to. The new indie pack will cost $7.99 or $6.99 in euros on November 11th. If you want to get the base game, it is out for $20. Check that out. All right, let's travel around the world and check out some release dates of games you can buy this coming week.
All right, we've got quite a few things. Starting off with Fantasy Maiden Wars Dream of the Stray Dreamers. That is on PC. Jurassic World Evolution 3 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series.
And they got bullied out of the AI in that game, right? Wasn't that a thing? Remember when they showed off the game? It was using AI?
That they did. Yeah, I remember that they did that. I don't know if they got bullied out of it. But,
I thought I heard they had.
Maybe they did. Ninja Gaiden 4 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Painkiller on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Dispatch on PC and PlayStation 5. Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and even the NES. I guess it's a NES game. Mega Cat Studios, definitely a NES game. Bloodshed on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. Bounty Star, The Morose Tale of Graveyard Clem on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Double Dragon Revive on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. Dreamed Away on PC, Mac, and Linux, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. Full Metal Schoolgirl on PC, Nintendo Switch 2, and PlayStation 5. We have The Lonesome Guild on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Let's see. Persona 3 Reload on Nintendo Switch. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted on PC, Nintendo Switch, Switch 2, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. Power Wash Simulator 2 on PC, Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Tormented Souls 2 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Oh god, I don't want to pronounce this name. Okay, I'm going to try. Utaware Rumo no Zan on PC. Chicken Run Extraction on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. Fast and the Furious Arcade Edition. Ooh boy.
Well, the arcade game's all right. I mean, I feel like
it's pretty fun.
It's a little bit reductive of other racing games in the arcade that are probably better, but it's cute.
Yeah. And that is on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. Although that game is just Cruisin', I think, which was on the Switch, or the Wii or something. I don't know.
So Fast and Furious is just cruising with the Fast and Furious branding?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember cruising because we had that, but whatever. Anyways, let's see. House of the Dead 2 remake on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. Once Upon a Jester on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. The one I'm looking forward to this week, Once Upon a Katamari on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. And finally, Zoocosis on Xbox One and Xbox Series. That is it.
Nice. All right. YYR, by the way, in chat says the new remaster of Plants vs. Zombies is based on the Windows Phone version and is full of bugs and glitches.
Ew, why would you pick the Windows Phone for anything? Don't ever pick the Windows Phone.
All right, let's go to Japan and check out the releases there on the Switch 2 this week. Full Metal Schoolgirl, also coming out, Persona 3 Reload. I believe there are some accessories coming out as well, some Kirby-themed things, some Mario Kart World themed things. But that's it in Japan for the Switch 2. Next week is the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D, though. I'm excited for that. Let's check out the PS5 real fast, though. Ninja Gaiden 4. Ooh, I'm excited for that, too. I want to check that out. That is out. Actually, no, that's not the one I'm interested in. I want to do the one that's the retro-inspired. That already came out. I'm just behind on my games. But that, if you're interested in that, there's a regular edition, deluxe edition, multi-language. It's, every edition you could think of for that game is coming. That's probably the biggest release this week. Also coming out in Japan on the PlayStation 5, Double Dragon Revive gets a retail release. Hirogami is out in Japan this week as well. Full Metal Schoolgirl on PlayStation 5 as well. And Trouble Witches Final, Episode 1, Daughters of Amalgam, is also out this week. Truck Driver. Yep, that's it. It's a game called Truck Driver. It's coming out in Japan. Do you know what you do in Truck Driver?
Drive truck.
That is correct. You drive trucks. Good job, Loki. You win the prize. It honestly looks just like Euro Truck Simulator or one of those type of games. Once Upon a Katamari, of course, also out this week. Exciting. And I think that's it for Japanese releases. Loki, you want to do the UK for us with Jamie out this week?
Yeah, we can do that. So we have Lumo 2 on the Switch. Let's see. We've got... This sounds like this is like a knockoff game, but Darkenstein 3D on PC.
Okay.
It's a boomer shooter. That's set in World War II. That is, you play a hobo. It looks cheap, but cool. Cinder City on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. Ninja Gaiden 4 on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series and PC. We've also got Escape Simulator 2 on PC, Painkiller on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series, Fantasy Maiden Wars, Dream of the Stray Dreamer on PC, Jurassic World Evolution 3 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC, Isopod, the web spinoff on PC, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC, Dispatch on PlayStation 5 and PC, Modulus on PC, Pale Coins on PC, The Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC, Power Wash Simulator on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Switch 2, Dreamed Away on Xbox, Switch, and PC, Be Castled on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC, Exploding Judo Federation. Love that name. That's on PC as well. Fading Serenades on PC. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault on PC. Double Dragon Revive on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted on Switch 2 and Switch. Tormented Souls 2 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. The Crazy Hyper Dungeon Chronicles on PC, Bounty Star on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC, Full Metal Schoolgirl on PlayStation 5, Switch 2, and PC, Persona 3 Reload on Switch 2, Misery on PC. We have Vampires Bloodlord Rising on PC. Painted in Blood on PC. God, there are so many games. Jackbox Party Pack 11 on PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, and PC. Once Upon a Katamari on Switch. We have Dolvin on PC. Fast and the Furious Arcade Edition on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Switch. Hot Wheels Let's Race Ultimate Speed on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Dora Rainforest Rescue on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Chicken Run Extraction on Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Myth Realm on PC, and that's finally it.
Busy week to say the least.
Yep.
All right. We have one more headline for you, and this is actually a really, really sad one. Sorry to end on a downer, but I didn't know where else to talk about this. This is very surprising, actually, Loki.
The longtime director of the Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive series, Tomonobu Itagaki, has passed away at age 58.
That's
young. Basically, said that he had, no regrets. But yeah, of course, Team Ninja put out, a statement saying, we're deeply saddened at the passing of Team Ninja's first leader, and will carry on the philosophy and creativity that Itagaki-san began and continue to create games that many gamers will enjoy. Our deepest condolences for his loss.
And we have no idea as to the cause, because there was he had posted like a message on Facebook, like through a friend or something, that made the post. It was a very Itagaki statement, because at the end it just kind of went, so it goes, type of thing. It was very sad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but obviously young. So yeah, I'm kind of left to think it might have been disease. I know speculating is very bad, but you kind of want to know, like, why so early? So, but what a huge loss to the industry, and especially on the eve of that
Ninja
next,
Gaiden 4.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. So, what a loss for the industry, and very, very sad to hear it. So, Dead or Alive, huge contributions to that franchise as well. He's really was a staple of, like, especially some of those E3s, the years that we went. Like, I remember what a legend that guy was. So, very sad to hear that. All right. Well, let's move on to the Listener Roundtable, where you can get your thoughts and opinions in. If you want to send us an email, participate at orangeloungeradio.com is the place where you can send us an email. I did check in there before the show tonight, and I did not see any emails, but I do want to let you know the show ends next month. So if you've ever been wanting to send us an email, now would be a great time to do it. So just a heads up on that. I did check social media as well. You can go and you can always send us a post at our Blue Sky account, which is at orangeloungeradio.com. We are verified by domain on Blue Sky. And I don't think I saw much. I did notice we got a little tag from our buddies at Game Buoy, who are always so kind to shout us out at the end of the show. So shout out right back to our friends at Game Buoy for all that they do over there. And everything else is from last week. So it's kind of a slow week on social media. But I will say I did catch before the show, a post that Dark Tetsuya, and since it's on social media, I guess I can say it. So Dark Tetsuya's in the ER right now, and it sounds manageable because I see he's still putting replies. But still, just sending our thoughts. Dark Tetsuya's been here since episode 1. Big part of the family. So just sending our thoughts and speedy recovery to whatever's going on with you. So and Mish as well, of course. So any last minute stories you want to bring up here, Loki?
No, I don't think I have anything. I think it's just busy as far as releases go. So
yeah. Well, I do see we have a caller in the green room, and tonight's a great night to do that. And I definitely want to make sure we talk to this person at least one more time before it's all over. So let's go to our phones. Hi there, you're on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's this?
Hi.
Hi.
It's YYR.
Hi, YYR. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Just I was a little surprised. I will admit I had not watched I had not kept up with OLR in a hot minute, and I then saw the news announced about the Xbox Game Pass price increases, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to see what their take on it is.
Mm-hmm,
And so last Sunday, I pulled up the podcast episode for that, and I'm like, oh wow, I did not expect that.
Yeah,
So-
surprise.
But you know what? It's like I listened to what you were saying about how all the news has been lately, and what's going on in the industry, and it's just like I get it. Like it's day after day after day. It's just it really seems like we're headed towards something. I couldn't tell you what, but clearly we're out of the days of what was, and we're heading towards something different.
Yeah, it's weird feeling this lack of joy with a lot of things gaming. I mean, at least Pokemon Legends is somewhat of a bright spot. As much as I have my reservations with that game, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time, but it just does seem like there's so much yucky news out there, right? And, to be fair, there's other things in the world. Like, I just was saying this to somebody in chat that, oh, yeah, we're not here next week because I have a day job commitment and I'm going to have more of those commitments the next year. So it's like, I feel like all these things were just sort of converging where the universe is saying, girl, it's time. And that's that. That's that. It's as simple as that. So, but it's so good to
honestly,
hear from you.
Yeah, honestly though, the good games are always going to be there.
That's right.
Because I mean, it's not just at the top. Like one thing that I very much enjoy doing and totally didn't have the time to do, but did it anyway. As a previous participant in the MagFest Indie Game Showcase, basically what they do is we're the first people they go to when they're looking for judges for the next year's entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So I went ahead and I jumped right in. And as is typical, the entrants are a mixture of games that are already out, games that are about to come out, games that are not quite yet coming out, but they're into development. And I have to say, the future of gaming is gonna be bright. I played a lot of really good stuff. I had a lot of fun, and I can guarantee you that if I'm pretty sure you're not going this year, but whoever is out there, if you go to MagFest, you're gonna get an indie showcase that is full of really great stuff.
And thank God for indies. Thank God for indies that do feel like a bright spot amongst so much like negative news we see sometimes. So I would love to do like one more MagFest at some point, but it's rough now that we're doing that cruise. It's really hard to do those things back to back. That's the only thing that's kind of a bummer. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I get the work thing too, because we did a phone system transition recently, and I think the last 3 weeks I've worked between 6 and 7 days worth of hours. It's exhausting.
It happens. I just have to point out, by the way, I know our podcasties can't see this, but on Discord, where you're calling us in from tonight, you have all these artwork behind you, and it looks like it's things that your daughter made. I'm going to assume that is filling up
pretty
that wall.
much all that.
That's incredible. Yes. I love that. I love that. I really do. That's a great use of the wall real estate. So
yeah, she's always creating something, which is really cool.
How old is she now?
She is now 7.
Oh my God, 17. We're old. Oh my God. I was expecting you to say like 4. I literally thought it was like recently, but then I'm like, no, it was before COVID. God.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
it's pretty nuts. And thank you again for always shouting out to me on the show. Like even in that episode I just listened to, like that Unity thing. I wonder if YYR has to update all this stuff. And thank you for thinking of me, although none of my games actually run on Unity, so I didn't have to do anything.
Oh, good. No, that's a good footnote. Well, look, just in case we don't get to talk to you again before this is all over, I just want to say you have been such fun to have around in this community. And obviously one of the big things you did for us was you made wishes come true. We had our list of, games that we thought would be silly, and you started granting wishes, right? You made Bungie ferret tossing a reality. And obviously the games that you're making on your own without OLR influence, again, I don't understand why super multitasking is not the indie darling, like at that level that a lot of like big indies, get coverage on Twitch. It sounds like maybe in Korea for a hot minute you were, but you kind of deserved that all over. And, I guess viralness can be a very fickle thing. That's for sure.
I think really what it is there's just so much good stuff on
That's true.
Steam. And it was true back in 2018 when I released it. And it's even more true now. Like there's so many options on Steam, on everything else, that it's releasing a game is kind of like buying a lotto ticket. There is a very, very small chance that you hit the jackpot. There's somewhat of a chance that you get something small, and everybody else gets nothing. So it's kind of like that, even if your game is good, just because there's so many choices. And but if you just keep releasing, keep trying, I over the years, obviously I haven't hit the jackpot, but I've built up something of a small following. And I've had this one dude emailing me like every few years, hey, is Snake coming back yet? And you know what? When I put on Steam that it's coming soon, and there is now a page listed for Snake Party Extreme, which is the name I'm going with for the basically what is the culmination of all of Snake 360's features and updates. There was actually a little known 2016 release, one of the last Xbox Live indie games, Snake Party. So it has basically Snake 360, Snake Party, and then a few things from the cutting room floor that I'm putting back in because why the hell not? And because I don't know when to stop. And that's going to be Snake Party Extreme. And
if you've been managing these big projects at work, you ought to know about scope creep, Aaron.
Oh, I'm not making anything else for this. I'm working on right now, like the keyboard support and, the other things that people buying a PC game expect to be there.
Sure.
And of course, achievements and leaderboards and the features that are going to be unique to Steam. But other than that, like nothing else is going in there. It's a very done project. But I'm probably pushing it back to February. But other than that, yeah, it's coming.
By the way, you said something there like 2 or 3 minutes ago. I really just want to kind of revisit because it felt very like I felt that when you said that you don't always hit the jackpot, and you didn't hit the jackpot, but you got a really small loyal following that cares. I'm like, oh, hashtag relatable content, just in a different medium. So yeah, no, maybe we didn't hit the jackpot of fame, but we definitely hit the jackpot of like really just like a really like coolest, like a chill as fuck crowd. Everybody be chill. Like that's what we lucked out with here at Sunday. We don't have a lot of drama llamas. We don't, it's been very, very nice. So very, very lucky in that regard. So,
and it's been great. It's been great to have your voices here for all these years, and, to just be able to check back in
and as a reminder,
doing.
And as a reminder to everyone, we're not dying. We're not all going on a boat that's going out to sea, and then somebody setting the boat on fire. That's not what's happening to us. We will still be around to do our things. And I do hope we get to support future releases. It's just going to look a little different, just in whatever maybe I'm doing in the future, whatever Loki decides to do, maybe beyond Minecraft even in the future, and Jamie's whatever her show looks like in the future. That hopefully, and some of you in chat have been talking about. I don't know what I'm going to do on Sunday night. Well, we hope you'll continue to support Bobby. He's still going to be here. And then, Jamie is looking at potentially, she doesn't know what day yet, but maybe a Sunday thing as a successor. Maybe not right away. It won't be like maybe the week after, but maybe come 2026. I don't know all the details yet. That's in Jamie's hands. So, but I know a big part of them being at TwitchCon, this weekend is networking, chatting, talking, inspiration, figuring out what that looks like, which is why we wanted to tell you all before TwitchCon, so that way Jamie had the freedom to just tell anybody, there without like, oh, I got a secret, I got a, type of thing. So, yeah.
And I've also been dabbling in streaming as well. And
your birthday marathons for Max 300. That's a stream.
That is a stream, but more regularly, I've been playing.
Aaron, you know what I could
frequently.
You know what I could do on Sunday nights? I could go play DDR now on Sunday night. That's something I could do in my free time.
You should. The latest version has like a bajillion songs.
I know.
We
live round one in Roseville. Got one of the new My-Mys, which is all the rage.
There's one in the city, but like the last time I went, the line was forever long.
Finally, it took.
They freaking appear everywhere.
Finally in Sacramento. It only took 23 and a half years of this program, but finally the good music games are here. We don't have to fucking go to LA to play. It only took us quitting to make that happen. So congratulations to the people of Sacramento and Roseville.
But yeah, no, it's I've been playing Legend of Zelda on Saturday nights. I've actually been playing it for a couple of years now, and I've again built up a small but devoted following watching me play ROM hacks that are increasingly difficult. There's this one dude making them. He goes by Zelda Maker, and the one I'm playing now is just absolutely balls to the wall difficult, not only in terms of the combat, but also like, what the heck do I do now? So I'm like a few hours into it, and I'm just like, oh boy. So and then I've been streaming just random stuff on Wednesdays. But I was actually toying with the idea, like, wonder if I could do some sort of like hour-long show where I either discuss news or take calls while also trying to play a game. And the idea is, try to rile up the host so that he screws up his game, kind of thing. Like, can you do that?
I mean, all it takes is an idea and a commitment. So, like, physically, are you capable of doing that? And like, smarts wise, are you capable of doing that? Absolutely. There's nothing stopping you. You can do it. But now the question is it worth it? Is it the commitment you want to make? And that's kind of that second question to answer.
Yeah.
But, if that's what you decide you want to do, which, sounds like a kind of a fun concept, I would ask, how's that going to vary week to week? I guess it would be the game that you're playing or whatever, but would the derailment concept get old week after week? But I think that would be, I do hope you explore. Of course, I want to empower people to create content. Folks out there have been very kind, especially in these closing hours, of saying that OLR inspired me to do my own podcast. That's very humbling and really the best possible compliment I think we can get, is that like showing that, hey, if we can do it, you can do it, and people do it is amazing. It's a huge compliment. So,
all right, that's something to think about then.
Well, I wish you the best in whatever's next for you. And if, whatever it is, I look forward to supporting you from a different medium, from a different boat.
I could say exactly the same thing right back to you.
Well, I appreciate that. All the best. And maybe we'll talk to you again before it's all over, but just in case, hey to the family, and I better not blink. And that kid is driving. I better not blink. And that kid is driving.
Depends on how much you blink.
A lot. All right. Take care, Aaron. Have a good one.
Hey, you too. Have a great week.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. This is going to be fun and also difficult these last few weeks. All these voices from memory lane are going to be coming back, but it's a good thing. Last minute stories. Did I already check in on that? Do you have anything, Logan?
Yeah, we don't have anything.
Okay, then that's it. We're going to wrap it up here. So I used to have this big spiel I would say at the end about trying to draw new listeners to the show and spread the word and all that. Seems a little weird at this point as the sun is going down, but I do want to use this point of the show to remind everybody Our final show is going to be November 23rd. We're looking for 23 November, if you will. There's a joke there that I'm sure most of you will get. It's as close to the other numbers as we could get, 23 November. And we hope you'll be able to join us for that live or podcast. And just a moment to thank everybody for their support over the last 23 and a half years. As came up in that call with YYR right there, maybe it's not oodles and oodles of people, but it's been such a great crowd, and it's really great to know you. I just saw in chat, SSJ 100 Matt says, well, if you guys come to New York, say hi. And like, of course, at Rama too, of course. And all the people I know in New York, absolutely. And I will say, it's been a while since I've been really tempted to go see something on Broadway. But let me tell you, number one, next year, there's a Romeo and Michelle musical coming. Number two, that Cats Jellicle Ball. Have you seen this? The ads for the Cats Jellicle Ball? Oh, they're doing like the Paris is Burning 90s voguing culture ballroom thing. And they're doing it with cats. And as much as it's like, isn't Cats kind of played out at this point? It's like, oh, fuck, that's a really good pairing. So I actually really want to see that when it goes to Broadway, because it's played off Broadway for a little bit. And some of the clips look really good. So I think I will have to do a trip to New York like sooner rather than later, to be quite honest. All right. We will not be here next week just due to day job and paycheck commitments. I don't know if Dark Sakura is streaming next week. My assumption is she will be. Bobby will absolutely be here. So we hope those of you, the Voice Geeks Network, will still be here at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern to support Bobby. Loki, are you doing anything next Sunday with a week off?
I am not, but the Sunday after that, I am going to be in a Minecraft competition event that's a charity fundraiser for cancer research. So that'll be Sunday morning, I think at 11 Pacific. I don't remember exactly. It'll be on my socials.
You are so smart using this time to do all these guest appearances. I know it's very exhausting, but I really hope that helps people get to know who you are.
Yeah, so it's like I was telling some of my other cast members and stuff. Yeah, it's nice to get your foot in the door with some of this stuff, but like I don't necessarily enjoy these events, because not to say like I don't want to sound elitist or anything. It's just like the whole point, like with trying to get in with like certain groups, is to be able to network with larger creators. I'm not doing that here. These are not larger creators, and it's good to get to know some of these people. Yeah, it's not going to help me open any doors.
Small plus small might be still small, but it's larger than it was before. And I think a really good comparison is probably like, I look back at the history of this show, and I think about when we came to All Games Radio. We had an established community for years. They had an established community for years. Neither one of them were huge, but when we came together, there were a lot of people that found something else kind of through that, and it really worked. So sometimes it's just finding like that right partnership and that right match for the community ends up being a great thing.
And it's more of like, it's these type of events aren't necessarily, so there's like different types of events that these guys put on. This is more of like an MCC thing where it's just like you're playing through games and it's mostly like PvP and parkour and stuff like that. There are some that are a little bit different than that. Like I know Legundo does this thing where it's like, I don't know if it's like flower. It's something with flowers where you're getting flowers, and it's also PvP at the same time. But there's that. There's another like Christmas event that Wadebox and I think maybe an Orbits that put on a while back as well, where it's a lot of like, oh, you have all these challenges, but they're like group challenges, and you're all together. You're not like doing PvP or anything. It's more of just like hanging out in a group, and there's a lot more like talking to people and getting to know them and like getting to like play with other creators. Like that's the type of like thing I'm looking to do. Whereas not to say that the last few things I've done haven't been, it's good to get my foot in the door, but the last one is playing Peak, which is fine. Peak's fine, but it's not Minecraft. I don't really want it. Playing Blood on the Clock Tower, which is fine. I don't really get the game, and also once again not Minecraft. It's like, and then other events where like I'm participating in them, but I can't make content from them because it's not interesting for content. Like, why am I making content for other people is what I'm trying to say. It's like,
I get that.
But it's fine. Like, it'll hopefully get me, better opportunities in the future. But, Yeah, these aren't quite the circles I'm looking to get into yet, but hopefully it'll be a stepping stone.
All right. Well, with that, I need to get your actual final thought tonight, Loki. You have any final thoughts for us?
I'm gonna play Katamari this week.
There you
Can't
go.
wait.
Awesome. And my final thought is I'm going to play more Pokemon Legends. And I would just say I had the absolute honor of hosting a show last night here in Sacramento with some drag monsters. So we had the Boulay brothers from their show Dragula and some of their monsters, Abora, Asia Consent, and who am I missing? Vandervan. Oh my God, how did I forget Vander Von Odd? Were all incredible. And the local, it was just such an incredible show to be a part of. I was just like so happy for that. And it really made me think Happy Halloween. It was such a creepy show, like in the best possible way, and it's just a scene I've loved being a part of. And I am doing some more shows here locally in Sac. If you're in the Sacramento area, we have a great one coming up this Friday. So check it out. Rocky Horror sold out though, so if you don't have a ticket to that, tough. It's the 50th anniversary. It's but go see it in your town with a cast. Don't go see it at the fucking multiplex with no. That's not the same thing. Go see it with a cast. In the worst part of your town. Go see it. That's the way to do it. All right. But we'll be back. No, we won't be back next week. I guess this is my chance to say Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. I hope everybody has a great Halloween. Be safe, be fun, and don't be mean to each other. We'll see you in 2 weeks back here with the final run of episodes of Orange Lounge Radio. Have a great week, everybody. Good night.
You've been listening to Orange Lounge Radio. Orange Lounge Radio is a production of OLR Studios. To join us for our live show, tune in to VogNetwork.com Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of the staff of Orange Lounge Radio nor Vog Network, but you know they were all still true. See you next week.